rehabilitation spinal cord injury. And this topic of mine, neuroplasticity, this is also quite, I mean, it is a similar type. Basically, it is adaptation. Okay. Here you can see the brain, and the brain is active. Now, plasticity of the nervous system. Neuroplasticity is the ability of neurons to change their function, chemical profile, structure, and organization in response to new experiences. Neurons that fire together wire together. That means the more you run a neurocircuit in the brain, the stronger that circuit becomes. Practice makes a man perfect. The more you practice piano or speaking a language or juggling, the stronger those circuits become. Like yesterday, ma'am was telling about spinal cord injury. So the patient has to practice again and again to maintain his balance, to learn the functional activities, to learn to walk, and to walk initially in the parallel bar, and later on as the patient improves, then in the walker, or depending upon his ability, then he uses either axillary crutches or elbow crutches. And young spinal cord injury patients, they learn to adapt themselves so well that they are able to even take part in the Paralympics. There are different terms for neuroplasticity. It could be neural plasticity, it could be cortical plasticity, brain plasticity, and peripheral nervous system plasticity, depending upon the system which needs adaptation. Brain plasticity, basically the brain functions are not fixed throughout the life. They keep changing from childhood to adulthood to old age. The adaptation of the brain keeps changing depending upon the requirement. Synaptic plasticity, in this, it means that the two cells or system of cells that are repeatedly active at the same time become associated, so that the activity in one will facilitate the activity in the other automatically. There's no need to again try to initiate the activity in the other neurons. This is a lifelong ability. It refers to strengthening or weakening nerve connections or adding new nerve cells based on outside experiences. It is enhanced by experience and learning. So practice is very important for improving the gains. My PhD thesis also was on the same topic, that you have to make the patient practice again and again, and then only the improvement is intensive new NDT. Intensive मतलब आपको कम से कम 6 घंटे एक्सरसाइज करानी चाहिए, तब जाके आपके जो चेंजेस है वो आपके मेंटेन रहेंगी. So it is basically use it or lose it. Neuroplasticity includes habituation, learning and memory, and cellular recovery after injury. In this, all of them apply in physiotherapy and in daily life also. Daily life में आपका जो है learning वो बहुत important है. बाकी habituation basically ये है कि it is decreased response to a repeated stimuli, or it is also known as desensitization. This you see in amputees, where you desensitize a stump so that the patient can use the processes properly. It is also needed when there is nerve injury, and then there is nerve repairing, and then patient sometimes has tingling pain. So for that also you can use desensitization. Learning and memory. This is very important for neuroplastic changes to take place. Learning is the ability to acquire new knowledge or skills through instruction or experience. When we learn a new task, then large and diffuse regions of the brain will show synaptic activity. As you keep practicing it, then the task becomes more automatic. Later it becomes more autonomous, and then there is a reduction in number of active regions in the brain. Initially, the data which is learned is stored in short-term memory, which is temporary, and you need to again revise it. And after a period of time, information then moves to a more permanent type of memory that is known as the long-term memory. Cellular recovery after injury. This is what we see in our patients, that initially after any condition, it could be stroke, it could be head injury, it could be peripheral nerve injury or spinal cord injury, there is spontaneous recovery. This spontaneous recovery is the return of function of the undamaged parts of the brain when there is resolution of temporary blocking factors that could be shock, edema, decreased blood flow, decreased glucose utilization, and this process is termed as diastasis. This takes place over a relatively short period of time, that is typically 3 to 4 weeks. So the recovery which takes place in 3 to 4 weeks is because of the removal of the temporary blocking factors. Then the later recovery which takes place, that is because of neuroplastic changes. The neuroplastic recovery is neuroanatomical changes, neurochemical changes, and these neuroanatomical changes could be neural regeneration, regenerative synaptogenesis, and reactive synaptogenesis. Reactive synaptogenesis is seen in collateral sprouting, that is when in polio, a few neurons, half of the neurons or axons have got damaged, and then the remaining surviving axons, neurons will take over the function of the damaged neurons. Neurochemical changes in this, the synaptic plasticity takes place where the neurotransmitter release and the receptor sensitivity are improved. Again, the same thing, mechanisms of neuroplasticity. Basically, the new thing, the new concept over here is synaptic pruning. Axonal sprouting, again, same thing, healthy axons will sprout, nerve connections will be formed, and this is used to strengthen the existing connections or to repair the damaged parts by repairing the damaged neural pathways and restoring them to full functionality. Here you can see when there is a nerve injury, then either there will be regeneration, that is called regenerative synaptogenesis, or there could be compensatory sprouting. The newer concept is synaptic pruning. In this, you are removing the unrequired material or the waste material. Imagine your brain is like a garden, but in the brain, instead of flowers, fruits, and vegetables, we are growing the synaptic connections. The synaptic connections in which the neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and others travel. The glial cells are the gardeners of the brain. They act to speed up the signals between certain neurons, and other glial cells, they remove the waste products, pull off the weeds, and break up the dead leaves. The gardeners of the brain are the microglial cells, and they prune the synaptic connections. Prune matlab, they remove the synaptic connections which are not required. Now, how does the brain know? How do the microglial cells know which connections have to be cut off? So basically, what we practice again and again, that will be strengthened, and what we do not practice will be removed. The connections which are not used frequently get marked by a protein that is known as a C1q protein. And when the microglial cells detect that mark, they bond to the protein and destroy or prune their synapse. The connections which are not used frequently, they will gradually get pruned off. And this is how the brain will make space for more synaptic connections, or what you learn, new things. Those new things will be learned when we cut off the old connections and forget the old things. Now, when does this take place, synaptic pruning? It is very important. The sleep is very important. So your brain builds up new connections and removes the old connections or the connections which are not required. So this pruning and connections are done when we sleep. The brain cleans itself, and 60% of space is created by the microglial cells, which help to remove the unwanted synapses. And then your brain is free to synthesize new information and, to other words, learn. So it's very important that we take small naps also. In the daytime also, if you're tired, then a short nap will help you to improve your cognitive abilities, and it gives some time for the microglial cells to remove the unused connections and leave space to grow the new ones. Also, what has to be cut off? That is decided by us. So we should decide what we want to focus on and what we do not want to focus on. So we have to be very mindful about what we are thinking about. If we keep thinking about things which are not nice, then those connections will get stronger. Like if you think of crime or something, or you're worried about the coronavirus nowadays, so those connections will get strengthened more. Instead, you just forget the corona and think about other things, other activities, then those connections will get stronger and you will feel less depressed. So initially you have various connections which take place. Then as we use the connections frequently, then there will be the unwanted connection will get pruned off in the second diagram. And in the final, the strengthening of the connections, that is reinforcement, where the more connections which are used more frequently will get myelinted and they become faster. The connections become, the communication becomes faster between those neurons which are used frequently. This is again brain switching, where we can use our neocortex, and which will help us to remove the depression and less focus on the emotional part of the brain, that is the subcortex. Synaptic pruning takes place, as I told you, it's from the newborn. The child has quite a lot of information, and this has to be processed, and then we remove the unwanted connections, and this way synaptic pruning takes place. This neuroplasticity will help the process of developing and pruning connections, allowing the brain to adapt itself to its new environment. Types of plasticity. First is adaptive plasticity, that is functional, which we try to focus on. This functional, that is functional re-education, which is taught for any of the conditions, stroke or brain injury or for spinal cord injuries. So this is what we focus on, that is functional re-education. And maladaptive plasticity, which is non-functional, we try to avoid it. The principles of neuroplasticity. Motor skilled practice. Basically, repetition is very important for neuroplastic changes to take place. Also, the exercises can be practiced in an enriched environment. Aerobic exercises also help in improving neuroplasticity and injury-induced plasticity. Here we practice the different tasks of sitting, standing, walking, transition, movement, which we discussed yesterday in Dr. Neha Verma's class, which was very informative and very, a large topic was explained in a very short way. Enrich environment, providing the recovering brain with stimuli, such as increased physical activity, more social interaction, problem solving, enhancing both functional recovery and underlying neural processes, including the synaptic plasticity. Hello? Aerobic exercises. Physical activity in itself helps in neural plasticity. Exercising even for 3 hours a week will help in reducing symptoms of depression. And exercises help in increasing serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine levels. And also releases endorphins. This helps in reducing the pain and enhances neuroplasticity. It also improves the mood, the learning capacity, and memory. Here, which we see in the patients, that is injury-induced plasticity. If there is any injury, then the body has to overcome it and the brain has to function maximally and try to overcome the problem, that is motor in post-stroke, in traumatic brain injury, in cognitive conditions, and in language deficits when there is motor aphasia or sensory aphasia. So again, patient has to practice and try to overcome that deficit. Meditation again helps. Basically, we have to focus on the positive aspects and try to remove the negative aspects. It could be focused attention, or it could be just open monitoring. The neuroplasticity interventions, they are experience dependent. We have to practice it, learn it, and it also takes time. So it requires quite a lot of practice for neuroplastic changes to take place. Motivation and attention are very important modulators for neuroplasticity. Other facilitators of neuroplasticity are non-invasive brain stimulation, transcranial magnetic stimulation, deep brain stimulation, and we can also use pharmacological medicines for improving the neuroplasticity. This could be by molecular manipulation of numerous cellular and synaptic pathways. Growth promoting factors are given. You can also give granulocyte colony stimulating factors, and nowadays stem cell therapy is given where you can try to improve the function of the damaged neurons. Physiotherapy is given in this. The main techniques which are used are constant induced movement therapy for the arm and the hand. This is used in stroke conditions. Then for body weight supported treadmill training, which ma'am explained yesterday, that could be used in spinal cord injuries. Robotic devices also are used. Then behavioral shaping, bilateral arm training, where you can help the stroke injury patients, and task-oriented physical therapy and biofeedback. All these will help and facilitate neuroplastic changes. Aerobic exercise again will help in neuroplastic changes. Cognitive training, this is an extension of physical therapy to the non-motor aspects of the brain. And this is a broad potential as part of rehabilitation therapy in patients with stroke. So now I would like to complete my topic, and I would like to invite any questions if there are. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot for such a great session on a much needed topic, neuroplasticity, and you have elaborated well from the basic to the advanced management of the neuroplasticity. So we are really grateful to you, ma'am, for such a great session. And thank you, as already you have called for the questions. So I would like to convey the message that we are now open for the queries. If anybody has any query, they can ask. If anybody has any query, they can write down the chat box. Ma'am, there is one question in the chat box. Should I narrate it for you?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Nithya wants to ask, what is synkinesis?
Okay. Actually, in synkinesis basically वैसे तो ये होता है कि जैसे आप मूवमेंट करते हैं तो साथ में दूसरे और भी काम, मतलब दूसरे मसल्स भी काम करने लग जाते हैं. जैसे synkinesis mainly seen in facial palsy, where when the patient tries to do the movement of face of the mouth, and then there is simultaneous movement in the eyes also. This is seen mainly in facial palsy.
Okay, okay. Again, she want to ask about the treatment part of it.
ट्रीटमेंट पार्ट तो फिर उसमें वो यही होगा, बायोफीडबैक यूज करना पड़ेगा कि पेशेंट अपने आप को मिरर में देखे और फिर जब कोशिश करे कि जो आंख की मूवमेंट है वो नहीं हो. He should try to focus just on the mouth activity and not try to reduce the बायोफीडबैक इसमें करेगा. और विजुअल, दैट इज विजुअल फीडबैक. बायोफीडबैक कोई भी तरीके से हो सकता है ना. विजुअल फीडबैक होता है, ऑडिटरी फीडबैक होता है, या फिर आप कोई वो इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज करके भी बायोफीडबैक कर सकते हो. तो किसी भी तरह से आप ट्राई टू रिड्यूस दैट, जो अपन बोलते हैं ना कि रिड्यूस द एक्टिविटी. न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी में सभी कुछ है ना, आप स्ट्रेंथन भी कर सकते हो और कम भी कर सकते हो, तो कम करने की कोशिश करनी है आपको.
Thank you very much. Ma'am, there is one question from PR Suresh sir. So they want to ask, what are the adverse effects of neuroplasticity and how can it be controlled?
एडवर्स इफेक्ट वही मैंने बोला ना, मैल एडेप्टिव प्लास्टिसिटी. मैल एडेप्टिव अपने को नहीं चाहिए, अपने को फंक्शनल चाहिए. ठीक है. जैसे कई बार क्या होता है कि जो पेशेंट स्ट्रोक वाला है, ठीक है, और आपने पेशेंट को he has started using the dominant extremity too much. So even if the recovery of the affected extremity takes place, but he doesn't use it, ठीक है, तो वो मैलाडिप्टिव हो गया है कि डोमिनेंट एक्सट्रीमिटी काम करने लगा है, डोमिनेंट लोअर लिम्ब ज्यादा काम करने लगा है। तो आपको कोशिश करनी है फिर से कि ही शुड ट्राई टू फोकस ऑन वेट बेयरिंग ऑफ द लोअर लिम्ब इन द अफेक्टेड एक्सट्रीमिटी, एंड उसी में CIMT काम आता है कि CIMT फिर वो आप डोमिनेंट को ब्लॉक करो और फिर अफेक्टेड को यूज करो। तो अफेक्टेड यूज होगा तो फिर ये होगा कि वो डोमिनेंट काम कम करेगा।
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
हेलो,
very much.
हाँ,
The next
तो
question is from
वो
yes, ma'am.
बेसिकली एडेप्टेशन ये है कि डोमिनेंट एक्सट्रीमिटी ज्यादा काम करने लगता है, ओवर यूज करने लगता है, तो उसको आप कम करने की कोशिश करेंगे, अफेक्टेड एक्सट्रीमिटी को ज्यादा यूज करने की कोशिश करेंगे, तो CIMT उसी में काम देगा, मतलब बेसिकली।
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
हाँ
So the next question was from the Madhurika Kate.
हाँ
How various therapy techniques like CIMT, RAGT,
हाँ
task-oriented
हाँ
training contributes to the
हाँ।
physiotherapy in the neuroplasticity.
CIMT में तो भाई ऐसा है कि अगर आपके मसल पावर मतलब वॉलंटरी कंट्रोल है इन द अफेक्टेड एक्सट्रीमिटी, then only it is possible. अगर it is zero, तो you cannot try for CIMT, but patient is able to do movements, but he is not using it, then you can use CIMT। उसमें होता है कि for 6 hours आप practice करो with the affected extremity and 9 hours आप उसको normal dominant side को अलाउ मत करो मूवमेंट करने के लिए। जैसे कुछ भी काम करना है, ग्लास उठाना है या कंघी करना है या कुछ तो उसमें आपको पेशेंट को बार बार ये बोलना पड़ेगा कि हाँ यूज द अफेक्टेड एक्सट्रीमिटी मोर, तो ही वो काम करने लगेगा। तो CIMT विल हेल्प इन दैट। एंड फॉर स्पाइनल कॉर्ड इंजरीज तो आपके बॉडी वेट सपोर्ट बहुत बेनिफिशियल है, बहुत बेनिफिशियल है।
Yes, ma'am.
उसमें
Thank
आप
you.
प्रॉपर गेट ट्रेनिंग सिखा सकते हो और पेशेंट को जैसे जैसे फिर इम्प्रूव होगा देन यू कैन रिड्यूस द सपोर्ट ऑफ द हार्नेस।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
हाँ थैंक यू।
The very next question from the Tarun Amalnerkar sir. He is joining
हाँ
us long away from the Malaysia. And first of
हाँ
all, he want to compliment. Thanks for the valuable time and shared details, ma'am. Now they want to know that
थैंक्स
any
अ लॉट।
specific protocol or suggestions, or is there any minimum hours that should be advised to patient with acute stroke or in the later stage?
In acute stage maybe you can start with initially for जैसे 20 minutes का दिन में 3 बार 4 बार, ठीक है। फिर जैसे जैसे पेशेंट का स्टैमिना बढ़ता है, थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूवमेंट आता है, देन यू कैन इंक्रीज द सेशन टाइम, है ना। तो वो 3-4 बार तो बहुत है, दिन में 3 बार भी बहुत है, बट सेशन टाइम आपको बढ़ाना पड़ेगा। Initially it is 20 to 30 minutes, then you can increase to 30 to 40, then 40 to 50, and patient can do one session about 50 to 60 minutes, and that can be done for 3 to, but ideally तो जैसे ये कहते हैं आपकी कि आपका जो 6 hours of intensive exercises that will give you maximum recovery, and this trial should be given at least for 1.5 then we give up भी क्या है, you have to continue with maintenance therapy, that should be done at least once a day maintenance, because whatever improvement we gain you use it basically। ये concept बहुत important है, अगर आपको मेंटेन करना है तो भी एक्सरसाइज, आप जितना भी करो उसको मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा। हेलो,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please.
हाँ, तो मेंटेनेंस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एक्सरसाइज, दैट इज व्हाई फिजियोथेरेपी हैज टू बी अ डेली प्रोसेस। जैसे खाना खाते हैं वैसे एक्सरसाइज करो।
Yes, ma'am. So, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot for such a great session, and we are receiving outstanding compliments in the chat box for this wonderful and outstanding session. And we are really grateful to you, ma'am, for enlightening us on this much needed topic and making it very much simplified for us, so everyone can understand the basics of neuroplasticity, how it can be treated or rehabilitated, in the various advanced methods which are commonly used in the neuroplasticity. So we are really grateful to you, ma'am, for your time sparing and hope for
Very
the
nice
such
for me
contribution.
also.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a nice, interesting session for me also, but I was thinking in between whether I'm audible or not, because it was like everything was silent.
No, no,
I
ma'am.
couldn't
Actually,
hear
you are
anybody.
audible, ma'am. Because of
Okay.
avoiding the disturbances, we keep the audience or the participant on the silent mode. Sometimes it happens that
Okay.
unnecessary noise disturbs the speaker. That's why.
Okay.
So
So thank you very much.
thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you very, very much. We are really feeling honored and grateful to you for your time sparing and uh, enlightening us on this much needed topic, making it much simplified from the basic of neuroplasticity to the advanced. So we are much honored, much grateful to you, ma'am, and hope for the such contribution in the future too. And again, I would like to say thanks to all the participants, all the senior faculty members, and respected teachers, mentors, and most respected Professor Suresh sir for joining us, for supporting us. And now, if you allow me, there's one query from one of our participants.
Okay.
Okay, Tarun
What's the
sir.
query?
Yes, ma'am. Tarun sir, you can unmute yourself. And Dr. Tarun is also
Hello.
joining us for the many more session, ma'am. He is joining us long
Okay.
away from the Malaysia, and
Okay.
I think it is around maybe 11 or 12 they are in the Malaysia for them. But still, their
Okay.
dedication to their
Great.
learning, they used to join for us on the session. Tarun sir, you
Very,
can
very
unmute
good. Very
yourself. Tarun sir, please, yeah.
Yes, thanks, Dr. Himanshu, and thanks, Doctor, for sharing the valuable session. Quite a number of things shared in small amount of time. Thank you for that. Maybe just you told like sleep matters, and you're advocating maybe for about 2 to 3 times in a day. A nap of 20 minutes or something can be given. I'm very interested in sleep component of here. We also encourage and we also say that. But is there any specific protocol like you told 2 to 3 times, maybe in the beginning, maybe less than later can be increased? Is there anything, any specific research you have done, or maybe you have any reference where we can say the sleep will increase the quantity or the rate of neuroplasticity? Because later
Hello.
once
I can't hear.
oh, is it okay?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, Tarun sir.
Okay,
Now I can't
am
hear
I
anything.
Tarun sir, can you please be a bit louder? Actually, the voice was a little low.
am I audible now?
Yes. Yes. Now you're.
Okay, actually I was on Bluetooth. Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you again. Thank you for the session. I just want to ask about this thing. When we say neural plasticity will be better when we advocate the patient to sleep, I also agree that we also have some references. But any specific protocol, any specific advice that these many hours should be slept? Patient should sleep in this many hours, or in the acute stage, in the later stage, once the patient has adopted or has been through a phase of neural plasticity. We say it's like a 6 month to 1.5 year. After that, if the patient comes, does sleep still matters? I mean, like
Sleep.
there is some reference. If I'm wrong, you can correct me here.
I
First
don't have
6
any
months.
research. I've not seen, but sleep is very important. 6 hours तो कम से कम 6 to 7 hours. वो तो अलग अलग आता भी है ना कि childhood में इतना, adults में इतना, old age में इतना. But if the patient sleeps better, then his mind is more able to learn new things. So if the patient is tired, then he will not cooperate with your physiotherapy. So it's very important कि patient relaxed हो, fresh हो, तो नया सीखेगा.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
नया सीखेगा. But the thing is exactly ये नहीं कि हाँ early मतलब क्या acute age stage में इतना सोना चाहिए या chronic stage में इतना सोना चाहिए. But हाँ normally ये है कि आपका normal 6 to 7 hours sleep तो होना ही चाहिए. And if you're not able to sleep in the night, then a short nap in the daytime, that is also beneficial. Just 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that also makes you fresh and able to grasp new things.
Okay. This is the last question. Like you said, like about pruning,
Okay.
that was quite interesting. So do we have?
That is very important. Synaptic pruning is a very important concept for learning new things. If you are stuck up with the old things, then your brain will not able to learn new things. So you have to forget. जैसे आप यही सोच लो ना कि अपन 12th तक फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री बायोलॉजी पढ़ते हैं, फिर आप जब बीपीटी में आते हो तो आप फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मतलब केमिस्ट्री का कुछ काम नहीं है, तो आप फिर नए कंसेप्ट पढ़ते हो, नए टॉपिक्स पढ़ते हो, है ना। और जैसे अगर स्पाइनल कॉर्ड इंजरी वाला तो उसको तो आपको लर्न फॉर द अपर लिम्ब हैज टू लर्न टू वेट बेयर। बेसिक फंक्शन तो स्किल का है अपर लिम्ब का, लेकिन वेट बेयरिंग भी सीखेगा एंड बैलेंसिंग द बॉडी। we can just explain to the patient, but how he learns to balance himself, that he has to learn on his own only. We can just guide him. In spinal cord injury तो अपन guide ही कर पाते हैं अपन, when अपने हुआ ही नहीं, we are normal, तो how will be able to guide him, मतलब explain to him what he feels, so that the feeling that his learning experience is his own, and he has to practice it again तभी वो balance और ambulation वो सीख पाता है ना। तो वो तो ये सब न्यूरोप्लास्टिक चेंजेस ही है, आपका फिजियोथेरेपी न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी है। हेलो 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 हेलो।
यस मैम, यस मैम।
हाँ ठीक है, shall we sign off then? Any more questions?
I think there is no more question, ma'am, and we are done with all the questions and answers. So again, many thanks to you. And at the last, there is information. Tomorrow again, we will meet on the same time, 9 p.m. on the same platform for the different topic.
Fine.
So till then, stay safe, stay tuned, and good night. Again, thank you very much, Sunita ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you. Okay, bye.